See, this is one case of Operation Malay, where media was completely focused on 6 days of coverage. One particular landscape in Eastern Ghats, Tiruvannamalai. From there, there were some lot of conflicts, and the local media started reporting about it. Then the forest department took a policy decision to shift away all the elephants from that area. Some 6 to 7 elephants, a herd was completely taken away. Now, this was reported, but what next is that what is the ecological loss of Tiruvannamalai? So Tiruvannamalai soil is going to miss that elephant dung. Tiruvannamalai soil is going to miss that what do you say, the transfer of micronutrient minerals from one place to another, which can be largely done only by the elephants, that cannot be replaced. So these kinds of the reporting after that is missing. Next slide. See, this is, as I said earlier, a lot of technical aspects and things has to be taught to the local media. So when that is being given, not only to the local media, I think even for students who are taking up scientific studies, I think NGOs and government should go give them some sort of the scientific temperament has to be given. Once when that is being done, I think the quality of media reportage will increase. At the same time, the quality content which comes from the YouTube social influencers, that will also increase gradually. So the way you look at an animal before doing these reels and TikToks and things like that, and with some kind of education, it is completely going to change. So that is what I think, the quality of the reportage has to increase, or the quality of the content has to increase. For that, education is very crucial. Next one. I said the impact of elections. See, this is one key area which we don't work on, or we don't discuss about. Well, there is a stress in one particular area, there is a stray of that elephant in that area. We only micro monitor that elephant, we tranquilize that element, the department tranquilizes, it puts into a crawl, then it is converted into a kunki, or sometimes it is shifted into a zoo. But what is a problem in that region? Is there overpopulation, or is there the combat that is happening between the group? What was the elephant some 10 years back or 5 years back? We don't go into the details. For these things, I think you need people who are specializing in animal behaviors. You need to have people who are into wildlife biology in the department. Next. See, this is one classic example of this elephant. Particularly, it was portrayed as a very bad animal on all those things. Nobody went into there was this elephant was very silent for some 3-4 years. There were no cases, nothing. Suddenly, it started attacking people, and it was termed as a killer elephant on all those things. As I said earlier, no detailed research happened in a foreign country. For example, there was an orca in a marine aquarium. It started killing people in a very designed format, because the orca was ostracized from its family some years back. Something has gone into that. Though it behaved like a friendly manner with the trainer, its intention was very clear, and it has been it's a research subject. It was published in various international journals. Whereas in India, we don't look into these cases individually, so that we will have some holistic data at a larger point of time. Next slide, please. See, this is I think we have discussed about this. What defines sensitive and what is responsible reportage? I think this question is not only for the media as such. This question is applicable for any content provider. He can be a person who is making a presentation, or he can be a person who is going to the Tahsildar office and giving a complaint about wildlife conflict and all those things. So I think a lot of this door-to-door sort of a campaign, or some sort of at least events for kids, I think should be done, so that the sensitive is thin. Then the responsible reportage, I think the media organizations, when they are going overboard, or when they are factually giving a kind of wrong content, or when there is flaw in their story, or maybe they are symbolizing an animal particularly in a very bad limelight, I think NGOs or government organizations should approach the particular media organization, and they should step up the saying, boss, this is not the way you sensitize it, or this is not the way you label an animal in the bad limelight. Because the forest department or the special task force people are mostly trigger friendly. Rather than capturing a wild tiger, we like to kill it. So we like to do that encounter, whether trial is not, whether we sometimes we don't even know whether that is the correct tiger or not. So that kind of problems are there. So for that, a lot of interactions has to be there. Next one. So this is a classic headline. So no respite in rogue elephants conflicts Kerala. So Kerala or Tamil Nadu or maybe South India, we have a culture where we love elephants. We respect elephants. We see Lord Ganesha in elephants. So that is how the people are things. But what happens? What forces the people to give such headlines is the continuous horror tale which starts collecting. So the people have the concept of gossips. So a lot of gossips going. This elephant when comes, it can kill people. This it did that, then it came on that day again, then it comes again after 3 months on the same day. And even movies are also like taken on these cultures. So what happens, this seeps into the society, this seeps into the young minds, and so finally the person sitting in the desk or person handling the page will be forced to give a headline like this. Next one. So I think the impact, I think we have discussed about the role of what kind of, because what happens is when slowly this starts, people start hating wildlife. Once when wildlife is removed there, or wildlife, there is a scarce for wildlife, the quality of forest again goes into a very bad shape, thereby affecting the livelihood of the people who are dependent on our forest. For example, if we take Tamil Nadu, we have around close to 40 districts or regions. So every district or a region is dependent on a forest or a river for their drinking water needs and other requirements. So where I'm going to get that? So the impact of losing the forest or the key flagship species has to be spoken out again and again until it reaches the ears of policymakers. Next one. See, this is one thing about what I have covered earlier. So you can see how about the temple elephants and all these things. The next one. I think we have discussed some of these things. So I think this is another subject. Maybe we'll discuss about later. Yeah. So over to questions. 1 minute. Previous slide. I'll just run through that. This Palar, because it's little. See, this is two stories, important stories. One is about the walking fish, which turned up the Nagapattinam coast after the Gaja. So after a cyclone, how the ocean bed reacts, how the sea bed reacts. Because we have seen this Balaptalam, we have not seen this earlier, but people used to talk about this mudskipper presence in Rameshwaram and Kodiyakare, all those belts. But when I went there for a 10-day study, but we were able to look at these particular fishes, they were turning up in large numbers. So what exactly happens? What is, because this is a particular, this not only it's an interesting subject, but for youngsters, when they're given this as a subject, it increases their scientific temper, because this is a fish that can breathe air away from the water. This is a fish which can climb for some 3-4 feet to the trees and all those things. So this fish literally has a structure like that of a limbs. It literally walks. So for example, if you can tell youngsters or teach kids about these kinds of species that are there, so their scientific temperament, their understanding about wildlife and ecology improves. And the other slide is about Pala River. So this is, we are talking about the river, the contamination that the river is carrying along the North Tamil Nadu districts, including Chennai. So this mineral that has to be essential part of the water is missing. So you see more lead, you see more cadmium than the minerals. The proportion is completely changed. So who can bring back this proportion inside? If you see, if you ask me, it has to be spotted deer, it has to be your wild boar, it has to be your elephant, then it has to be your gaur, Indian gaur, because these has the capacity to chew those grasses, break those molecules, bring those greeneries back into the manure, and that manure enters into the soil. When it is mixed with the rainwater, the chemical combination happens, and you get a quality drinking water. So thereby addressing all your problems. This is a very latest scientific research studied by Vellore Institute of Technology, where they connected the human problems that we face in the body with the quality of the drinking water. So quality of the drinking water is a major issue, and these animals do have a major role in repairing the contaminated water water bed. I think I'm done with the presentation.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Moving to the question answers, again, we're a little short on time, so we'll try to cover as many as possible. But to begin with, we can maybe again talk about what. Just give me 1 second. I can just go back. So, Nishad Venugopal had a question regarding how the attitude of people towards animals would be affected if some media or reporters use language like name calling. That we've already covered that. But in a way, what is the way to rectify such things? So I think we've already sort of answered that. But if there's anything else you would like to add to that, do let us. Like, if you would want to take this question, Koteswaran, maybe. Or
Okay.
anything else you want to add? Because I feel like we've already covered.
Yeah, we have see there's name calling and taking selfies and photos. These are two major issues I see with the social media. Particularly, I can we can, as a responsible stakeholders of conservation, I think we should reach out to the celebrities, asking them not to take pictures with the wildlife in close quarters, like petting a reticulated python or playing with an elephant or football. So all these things. What happens is these are misconceptions. So immediately people or kids think, okay, elephant is a subject which you can go play fool around. It's not like that. It can be a disaster. It can literally create a havoc on a particular day. So you have to not only love the animal, you have to respect the animal. And sometimes people, particularly in Middle East, you see people having tigers and jaguars at home and taking selfies and reels. And these are things is a major issue, and these things are going to go. So as people see these things, they are also going to try, because it's a digital era. People don't know what they are doing, and these social media, WhatsApp forwards, all these things make people go crazy and gaga over it. I think maybe we should urge celebrities first to stop this crap, because it's sending a very wrong message. The message should be to respect the animal and love it at from a distance. Or if you are so passionate about it, become a scientist, become a veterinarian, become a bird watcher, become a herpetologist, study the animal. It's just taking selfies, celebrating wildlife, going to a forest screaming. These kind of madness has to be stopped. I think all the participants, including myself, I think we are losing in that angle. I think we should start look forward for that, addressing that.
Okay. So there is a question from Mr. Parv Mystery who's asked, do we have data to draw some correlation between elephant conflicts and corridors? Do most conflicts interactions arise within so-called elephant corridors?
No, WTA has written a book on this elephant corridor issue, which has everything. Based on that, only the mirror high court cases were filed, and there is a progressive thing happening. Of course, the forest department is working on that. Last time when me and Kotishwaran, when we met the state chief wildlife warden, Mr. Srinivas Reddy, he was talking about the studying of corridors that is happening in Tamil Nadu. We asked him specifically when it will be completed, whether all the identified or recommended patches of forest will be declared as corridor. He said, we are studying it. It will take a longer time. We cannot define a timeline within which it will be completed. So it is happening, but it is literally, in my opinion, it is happening little slowly.
Okay.
What do you add something?
No, sir, I think you're correct. So there are data, there are some sort of scientific studies thing. The thing is that is not coming into open public domain access, because WTI sees it as a protected document. It's more valuable for them. And also when a petition is pending before the court, common people don't have access. But my interest here would be like more such research, more such studies are required, because India is blessed such a diversified country. We need more such studies, in-depth studies and analysis on that, so that we can have a better conservation practices, scientific practices, I would say.
Okay, thank you for that. We have a question from Sagnik Sengupta, who says that they represent SAGE Foundation and has been working with human-elephant conflict in Orissa and Maharashtra. Their question is, why doesn't the media highlight the compensation aspect and given that they're working on ground, they feel that the right to compensation on time will decrease the hatred among communities. So is there a case where we do sort of highlight the compensation part?
See, this is a very important point. So Ms. Sagnik has raised, I guess, Singupta. See, the problem here is the compensation is like a temporary solution. So a family which is affected, or a farmer who is affected by crop raiding elephant, or a elephant that has killed a particular person, they are in a very what do you say, angry mode. So they are in a state of burst out. So to sort out that, the compensation has been announced. But if you see in long term, how many, because the conflict deaths has been increasing. So how many families you are going to compensate? Then at one point of time, people may not be okay with the compensation. So that hatred towards the animal is there. So this concept of coexistence, in some areas it is practically possible. In some areas, practically it is not possible. So where it is possible, where it is not possible, compensation, yes, it provides an interim relief. But if you ask me that as a long-term solution, I won't say. See, whether any policymaker or any politician will he behave the same way if his kids or if children die in an elephant conflict? My question is that. So this is something you want to address it, give a interim solution. But the actual problem is not set right. See, forest right acts we have. So it says that there has to be a school for a tribal person, there has to be a community hall, there has to be a certain kind of basic amenities, primary health center, that is there. Forest right act gives you that. But while implementing it, there are issues. So the tribal life is also not sometimes taken care. Sometimes what happens is there are tourists or there are other settlement people who go settle there, and these are not tribal people. They don't know how to behave in a forest. For them, elephant is just another animal. It's just like a bigger size that of a cow. So these people, they don't understand. So where is the issue? It's a complicated issue. So then focusing on the compensation, I think the concept of forestry has to be completely understood, and foolproof mechanism has to be arrived, so that we can reduce the conflict where areas, as we one discussion was to avoid the forest during the dark hours. So to what extent we are going to convert our forest into villages or towns? That is the question. I think the forest areas are slowly becoming like towns and municipalities. That has to come down. From municipality, they have to go to village panchayat. From village panchayat, they have to go to remote areas. See, one time, we cannot have the 5G mechanism and Internet of Things inside a Mudumalai jungle and also expect the tiger to be friendly there with the tribes. That is not practically feasible. But that is what the government is trying to do.
So there's another question by Dr. Harsha, who said that the community that is largely affected by elephants during seasonal migration or basis are using traditional or crude methods to alarm the rest of the say villagers, community members, to mitigate human-elephant conflict. So they suggested people need to be facilitated with some sort of alarming system or training that will help them. But I think there are early warning systems are in place in a lot of states, but and I think even with like someone else has also pointed out that even as WTI as well has installed sort of aniders, which are sort of detection mechanisms that sort of help deter elephant movement, like not movement, but of course, which helps reduce HECs, human-elephant conflict. In Pilibhit, this is something that we've introduced, but I think this is definitely something that there are systems in place. But Opali sir, do you want to maybe elaborate a little bit more on this?
Yeah, Kotishwaran already mentioned about this in his, while he was talking. This NCF, Valparai-based NGO, they have done a early warning system. As he rightly said, there will be a red light indication, which will be in a common place in the tea estate area. So when there is a red light blinking, automatically people, those who are seeing it outside, they'll also get a alert message on their mobile phones. It's SMS. So this helps them to avoid going out after dark. It indicates that the elephant is moving towards their area. So avoid coming out after dark. There's one of the successful systems which is in place at least in the last 20 years. There's a classic example which can be emulated, number one. Number two, there was another mention in the chat that most of the incidents of human deaths are mainly due to the casual walking without realizing that there is an elephant movement. So when this kind of technology is used for alerting people, asking them not to go out, it will certainly help in reducing the human-animal conflict.
Okay, I think we will have to wrap up the questions. But for anyone who does have more questions, please feel free to reach out to WTI. I will, and we'll help you answer the questions through Opali sir and Kotishwaran sir as well. I'm just going to add that email ID on chat box. But just give me 1 second. And yes, so if anyone has any queries, please do reach out to us. And once again, thank you everyone for joining us today. We're extremely grateful to Asian Adventures and Mohit sir and his team and the Global Wildlife Fair as well for facilitating these webinars. So we have been doing these on a regular basis, and this has been sort of a platform for us to talk about various conservation related aspects, especially when it comes to elephant conservation as well. And once again, thank you so much, OPD sir and Kotishan sir, for coming here and speaking to the audience today. And again, everyone, all our viewers as well, thank you so much for being a part of this webinar. And thank you so much for your questions. I think that sort of is a reason why I think to have a conversation starter, this is something that we definitely look for. And I think the more questions that come into, the more questions that pop up, I feel that that's one of the more positive signs of people asking and questioning things on another level, which is definitely what we are also aiming to sort of achieve. So once again, thank you everyone and have a good night. Bye.